I'm Katarina Valentine. I am from East Hartford, Connecticut. I'm someone who has hearing impairment, and I'm also a dancer. And I am a battle beauty. So, the way my life started, just growing up as a kid, I was very involved with playing sports, especially getting into dance at a very young age. I started doing gymnastics. That was my first sport that I did. And everything was fine until one day when I went to my ear appointment at school, and my school nurse had told me that we had to do some ear testing. And it was something that at that age, I was about 6 years old, didn't understand what that meant, just knew that my ears needed to be healthy and clean, and just what you would think at that age. And that day changed my life. I had to go with my mom and my dad to the audiologist, and that was something I didn't understand what was going on. I saw a lot of wires going into my ears, going around my neck, hanging some devices I didn't understand. It was for my voice recognition, and to try to find my balance in measuring of what it was like to actually hear. Growing up, I also had a very thick accent when I was younger. My mother said, "You should have been born in New York." And my father is from New York. And something like that has stuck with me since I was a kid. The day I went to the hospital, after doing numerous of testing, visiting all the audiologists, I had to go to another school. Meaning I had to go to my regular primary elementary school, and then I ended up going to speech pathology classes. And that was to help me speak, help me to hear sounds that I wasn't able to hear. My hearing impairment has changed me. It definitely was a struggle growing up. Till this day, I still struggle with some of my words and my speech. But knowing that my story as a kid and growing up to who I am now has changed my life. When I first got these hearing devices, this was something that I was really scared of. I didn't know how to act with it. I didn't know how to wear them in school. My hearing aid is a small device that is for internal. And I never wore it out of the ear. I just never felt comfortable. I got picked on in school, but it was very minor that nobody really understood but me. And it was something that I had to kind of learn and grow out of, and I didn't make it a big deal to tell my parents. I didn't make it a big deal to tell my friends either. It was something that I kept in myself, and I wanted to figure out what was wrong with me. I thought I was the awkward kid. I was always told I was the weird girl in class, and that every time I needed to go see extra help, I was always slow at learning. I was told I was going to hear myself in these devices. My first set ever that I had, those were the worst things ever. Like, I would put them on, and they would make these crazy noises, like very loud, and every time I touched them by accident, or my hair or my earrings, you can hear it in class. It was so annoying. But no one ever questioned me. They just knew that there was something in my ears and that I was a different human. I had options as a kid of getting the ear implants, surgery, or just to wear these devices, and they'll gradually help me for the rest of my life. I am not a person of hospitals. I do not want to be in surgery. So I chose to keep the devices and was hoping that one day I will grow to love these devices, to understand who I am as a person, and to give it my all when I meet someone in person. The way I learned and listened to music was something that I always discovered as a kid, listening to the rhythms on the floor and the beats. That was something I actually was plugged into instead of hearing the words. For me, it was opposite. I felt like I was able to connect with the music more versus just hearing lyrically. And that was the day that I knew that I found my way of expressing myself through dance. And not that I had to tell anybody. I wasn't trying to say like, yeah, I'm dancing through the rhythm and the beats and I don't really hear the words of the songs, but I know what's going on. And I did. When I was about 9 years old, 10 years old, I was blessed with the opportunity to be on a television show. I was the girl on Postcard from Buster in Hartford. It was called Step by Step, and I was with Arthur's best friend Buster, who happened to travel the world, and he came to my house and he learned all about me. When I was filming that and knowing I had to publicly show what these devices looked like, at that age I thought I was the coolest kid ever, and yet I was still embarrassed to go to school. And that really helped me as a kid to keep moving forward with dance, to know that dance was something that I was able to rely on, and I was able to just keep moving. Me asking for help every time, I felt like a bother to people, I felt like a bother to teachers, I felt like a bother to my friends. But I went through that and I developed skills, and through my speech pathology school, through my classes I had to go through, that really helped me as a person, as who I am today. Now I was actually going out of class to go to my speech classes to get more extra help, and I would stay in school till about 5:30 every day. And as a 6th grader, that was not what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to dance class every night, and I still did. I managed my time to play tennis as well. That was my other biggest sport that I did growing up. And it was scary because there were times where I wanted to be just with my friends and I couldn't, because I needed to keep up and make sure that I was managing myself and knowing what and how to figure out how I was going to get above this impairment that I had. 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, I was able to somehow tell my friends about this, and they accepted me. It was the first time in my life where I felt welcomed. I still knew, at least for me, I felt out of the ordinary. I felt like I wasn't a part of anyone's community. And I didn't know any kids at that time who had an impairment like me. I did know some students that were deaf. I did know some that were blind. But in terms of finding someone that was literally 50% deaf, 50% not, my hearing has changed drastically in my life, so it was something that I couldn't relate to. High school is where I broke my shell. I wanted to try something different. I wanted to be a part of a community. I wanted to be friends with people. I wanted to slowly tell some friends about my impairment and just wanted to be like, this is who I am, and if you don't accept me, that's okay. High school was a crazy, amazing experience. I was definitely involved in sports. I was in the class council. I was a secretary, I was a treasurer, and I ended up senior year VP. I never thought I was gonna break out of my shell being shy. Those years in high school definitely brought me to the person I am. And it was nice because I did not go through, I would say, the best experiences in high school within finding myself, but I also went through the best because that's who I am, and that's where I discovered that I know I can do more for myself. I had to get new hearing aids. These things are not cheap. They are very, very expensive. And this, I was just blessed the fact that I was able to get some help from my parents, and I bless them every day and thank them every day for providing devices that help me to speak better, to hear better. The lisps, yeah. Everyone always like, Katerina, like I can hear your lisp. It's really cool. Can I be like you? And I'm like, listen, dude, it's not what you think. This is not cool, and I've been practicing to not have it. When I was exposed to college, I was always a student in school that I wanted to go to college. I want to get my bachelor's. I want to get my master's. and I want to give back in the community, so I wanted to change lives. Just like the way my audiologist has helped me change my life, just the way my speech pathology and my extra help teachers in my school has changed my life. And I still dance. At that moment, as soon as I graduated high school, I wanted to change myself for the best. I wanted to keep doing dancing. I wanted to do the hip hop team, the salsa team. I did the dance team for a little bit in college as well, and I found myself. And people did not like me, and that's okay. But I'm always a person of being positive. I've always wanted to make sure that every time I talk to someone, we're gonna have a smile at the end of the day. I went through numerous of difficulties in college when it came in terms of working with professors. They would go against things I said and asked of requests in terms of my accommodations. And I felt really, really neglected. I felt like I was back in elementary school when my teachers would tell me maybe like, hey, like, no one's gonna open to you right away. And I thought in college, professors were gonna open to me because I was already becoming a young adult. I would say after school, I would go to office hours in college. I would try my best to just keep my academics up, and it was very, very difficult. I was looking forward to new opportunities. I was looking forward to graduating. There was a point in time in my life in college where I almost gave up because I just felt like no one was accepting me for who I was. And I want to be that person to help others who are going through the same thing as me. Maybe we're not. Maybe we're just maybe a quarter off or maybe 50% off. But I want to be able to inspire women and men who have this type of impairment or any type of impairment to say that you guys can do it. Because I may not have all the worst of the worst experiences, but I do know that I'm sitting here today and letting you know that this is something that I have accomplished. I graduated in 2015. I got my bachelor's degree. And now I'm starting a new journey. Being someone who thought that I needed all the help in the world to just get by, just to turn in my papers. I was not the perfect student in school. I did not have the highest GPA. I did not focus as much as I wished I did, and I still did it. My hearing impacted me to become a better person, and it also impacted me to focus on the future and what I have next for me. Knowing that I am a Latina, knowing that I want to change lives, I want to give back to kids that may just feel similar, may feel different, but also I just want to give them the time of day and let them know that you count, your voice counts, no matter if you're a male or female. And education for me was the biggest thing in my life that has helped me through this journey. Now that I will be performing my master's soon, I think about above and beyond. One day, if I could, I would love to be a dean of students for multicultural diversity. I've worked in higher education, and I'm a firm believer in giving back to those who need an opportunity and a chance. I haven't met many Latinas that can say the same. I haven't met a lot of other voices that kind of match my voice in the way I pursue my future, and the way I think about others. I love having an office of just open wings and giving someone all that they thought they never could have. And I went through that. I've worked through Boys and Girls Clubs, I've worked through YWCA, women empowerment programs. I'm a firm believer in just making sure that everyone feels involved and feels included. And I think this gave me a bigger opportunity to express myself, to just know that I'm not the only one. You're not the only one. And to keep going and be better than you think you are. And I am a battle beauty.